Hi, so Tales from a Bicycle Workshop, part 6. I never thought I'd do all these. Six weeks. Amazing how quickly it's gone by. I know some of the videos so far have been not exactly exciting, but I've sort of introduced. I'm doing it a bit more like a vlog, so obviously, as you can tell, so it's various things that go on during the week. So obviously, if you find that of at all interest, then well, hopefully you do. Then obviously you'll keep watching. This week, I was just going through. I've got a few things I want to go through. I've got a old turbo trainer here. I'll go through it in a minute and just explain what it is and its history, because it's getting on a bit. Other stuff, I've obviously got my drone and I was just sorting out my drone. I've got to get the batteries on charge. I also bought myself, I think I probably mentioned, I got myself a new chest mount for the camera, because I think I mentioned you get a lot of heavy breathing, because I quite like to not put music on my videos if I can help it. Sometimes I have to put it on just to hide my. Listening to my breathing is horrendous to listen to. I don't know about you, but so I thought what I'd do is going to start taking this with me. Then occasionally, when I'm doing some stuff like climbing or whatever, and I want the camera on, I can just put it on the chest mount. And then you won't quite hear quite so close to my mouth. Plus, I can be able to talk as well, because when you got this in your mouth, it gets a bit harder to talk. This is the mouth mount that I use. You just clip the, oh, I can't do it now because you're on the camera, but yeah, there's the magnetic mount, and the camera just clips on the top, and then I just stick it in my mouth with the camera down here, and I ride like this. So today is actually Sunday, and episode 5 goes out in a couple of hours. I've actually managed to get this week's done a little bit earlier than last week. What's the time now? It's 1 o'clock, so it goes out in 2 hours. So hopefully you'll enjoy it, or hopefully you did enjoy it, because obviously this is past that. And hope you weren't too offended by the slurping. Oh dear, made me chuckle anyway. As I say, I've got a turbo trainer. I've had this since oh my word, when did I have this? I had this in the shop. I'll have to look it up, because it's got the turbo trainer itself is a Cateye. Hang on, lift it round. It's a Cateye trainer. Let's look at it. I've used it for years and years, Cateye. It's a Cateye Cyclosimulator. And I believe it still works. I have never changed the battery. I have never touched the battery. I don't know what battery is it. So I've used this since 1990. 1990. This is a 1985 Muddyfox Courier that's on it. And I was given it. It was left in our shop when I had the shop in Southgate Street in Gloucester. Someone dumped it. So Campagnolia. This is a really expensive rear mount. This was Campag, and it was the off-road version. It's called now Record OR, I think it was called. What's this crank? I think this is a cheap crank. Yeah, it's just a cheapy road crank I chucked on it. And the back wheel's a mountain bike, 26-inch mountain bike wheel. And like I say, I have done hundreds of miles on this bike, on this turbo trainer. I'm going to clean it up. I'm going to take the bike off, give it a clean. It's never had a clean. It's never had a service. It still works. This is your resistance here. So you increase the resistance. Of course it does work. Of course it works. And yeah, I think it just puts a brake on the fan, because it's the old type with a fan on the back. A bike to put together. As you probably saw in the last video, I've sold my bow tie. So I haven't got what I would regard as a general do-it-all mountain bike, just for going blasting around the woods. What I've been doing at the moment is taking my Raven148, which is sort of okay, but I don't really want to get it plastered. It's not really a downhilly trail bike. It's more of a bikepacking bike, and I want to keep it at that. So I'm probably going to build my Henderson back up, which is Mr. Rusty. So that'll be possibly in this video, me building that bike back up. But for now, turbo trainer. So I think what we're going to do is we're going to take it all apart. Right, it's got quick release front and the forks. This hasn't been off here in years. The back is these adjusters. Just pinch the rear wheel in. Cool, they're not very tight. I've been riding it like that. So you just unscrew those. So there we go. Let's just move this back a bit. So I think what I'm going to do is give this a sort out, and I just need to give it a bit of a check over. Sort the back tyre out. Yeah, there's no gear cable. So what I've done is I had... Oh, it does. I wonder if that still works. No. So yeah, I'll get these other bits and bobs off. I might put it in the stand actually, and I can give it a proper bit of TLC. Cool, I haven't worked on this sort of thing for a long time. This is what we used to have when we started. When I started mountain biking, these cantilevers were what we used to have. No disc brakes, all kinds of things. Then Magura hydraulic brakes came in, which were rim brakes. And then Hope started doing their first disc brake. I can't remember who else. There must have been others who were bringing disc brakes out, but I always remember Hope bringing theirs out. I've always been a Hope fan for years. I had one of their very first brakes on my Bigfoot, my first Bigfoot frame, which I've got a picture of here. And it was just a worm drive, so the pad, the lever on the one side was fixed, and the other side used to screw in and screw out, which pushed the pad in and pushed the pad out. And it was a mechanical disc brake, which you can still get now. I mean, you can obviously, there's a lot of brakes that use that mechanism, but they then moved on to hydraulic, and then the rest is history. But always loved Hope, partly because, I mean, I was making a British frame, so I wanted to use British parts as much as possible. So I had Middleburn cranks. They were made in this country, still are. Used to use quick releases made by Zero. There used to be loads of UK brands, loads of them. X-Lite were around then. That's what's now called Muck Off. Started out as X-Lite. There was Pace Cycles, USE, Ultimate Sport Engineering. They're still going. So there's a lot of, used to use their seat posts. Yeah, we had Pace suspension forks. And then we went on to have Shock Tech suspension forks. They're on that bike there. Shock Tech. They were shocking. I mean, to be fair, everyone was trying to make stuff for the UK market, and they did try hard, but they were bonded. So, and they were elastomers inside, no spring. And the bonding used to come apart, so the lower dropout started to spin in the fork. I also had it happen with Pace. Their bonding occasionally didn't work very well. They had carbon legs, and it was all bonded together, basically glued. But of course these days bonding is so much better. You've got the Atherton bikes are bonded together, but everything has moved on. The technology with different materials used for it, and just the way it's put together is so much better now. Right, let's take this off, cut that out. Right, that's the front strip down. So I'm going to take the gears off now. So the easiest way to get the gears off, cut the cable. Yeah, it's gone into top gear now, so I just need to fix it. I think it was that gear I use mainly. I'll replace this. It's always nice to make use of old bits. These brakes have got to come off anyway. Oh, I've just realised. There's a Hope hub in this wheel. Oh, it's come off, look at that. Right, we now have our bit of cable. Just hope this is long enough. So what I've got to do is put that through there. Hopefully it'll go through, yeah. And then pray it's long enough. I might have to screw this adjuster in. You need the adjuster because then you can fine tune the gear. I was tempted to take the adjuster right out altogether, but I just pray this is long enough. It might not be. The joys of getting old. Can't see anything anymore. Oh, crikey. They're filthy. That's better. See what I'm doing now. That's it. It works. So just a little bit of cable, that's it. Right, that's that little bit done. And the other thing I want to do is take the back wheel out and just check the hub. I think it's fine. Right, let's just have a look at this. What have we got? I'm pretty sure this is a Hope hub. Yeah, it is. Wow. From I don't know when. I think yeah, it's a black. Yeah, it is. It's an old Hope hub, because that's the old mountings for a disc brake. The old splined mount with a threaded lock ring. I'll just pop this chain off. God, that bottom bracket, look at that. Now this is an old UN52 bottom bracket, Shimano. Look at it. They go on forever. This has done thousands of miles. I know it's inside, but it's done thousands, and they used to last forever. UN52 or UN73 bottom bracket. It's a cartridge bottom bracket. I'll put a picture up of what they're like. And the crank square taper, so the actual shaft of the crank is tapered and it's square. And it worked for years and years. Yes, they used to creak now and again. If it ever came loose and you didn't tighten it up, it would just wreck the crank, because this is aluminium and the shaft's steel. So it used to wreck the crank. You never ever let them creak. But as long as you kept them tight, they'd last for years. Absolutely years. This obviously, there's testament to it. This is a cheap Sora crank, Shimano Sora, and it's done thousands of miles. Look at it. It's silent as silent. Fantastic. They work. There'll be a lot of, I mean, you can still get stuff, but I'm not sure the UN52 today is as good as the old one. Jockey wheels are looking a bit, I might have to get some, not sure what's going to work on there though, because they're Campag. I suppose you can buy Campag jockey wheels. The chain just needs a bit of lube. It's just a bit stiff from sat. It's been sat. It doesn't actually sit on the teeth very well. You have to tap it on. But it's all right once you get moving. I bet that's well and truly worn. That's been on there for years. Just put a chain checker on it. Scare myself. Oh God, yeah, off the scale. It's absolutely, really is worn. My word, look at that play. Look at the size of this stem, look. T-bone stem. The brake cable used to go through there and then down to the cantilevers. So you have a bit of brake cable over the top and down through. And this is a quill stem. A quill stem has got a bolt in the top which pulls a wedge inside the steerer tube and pulls it up tight, expands it, and then jams in there. I doubt this stem will come out. It's been in there so long. And same goes for the seat post. I doubt that will come out either. But I don't think there's going to be any reason for me to take it out. So I've had to take the wheel back out because it's developed a little squeak, or a little howl, squeal. So I might as well pop the cassette off. It is a cassette, not a freewheel. I'll pop it off and we'll just have a look and see what's what. Something somewhere is just rubbing a bit. It runs freely. Oh. It did it then. There. What is that? So it could just be something in the freer body. But it's all fixable. So we'll pop that off. Yeah. I cannot believe how easy this is. So it'll come off in bits. All on the rag. Yeah, it's all separate parts. Oh no, just that bit. Look at that! Can't believe it. Now this, I think, is titanium. Let's see if it's... Yeah. Oh, I don't know. Oh, that's the bearings inside it's feeling. Yeah, it's titanium freer body. This is a tie glide. This was a lot of money when it was new. The only reason it's magnetic is there's a bearing inside that it's detecting, because when you get to the middle there's no bearing, it flops between the two. So I'll pop this back on because there's nothing wrong at all. I've just given it a little bit of lube. Alright. We should be good to go. Back on the turbo. So here we have it. It folds up, quite small, all slides together. This lift folds up so you can pack it away. Look at it. That doesn't look too good, does it? So I'm going to give it a good old clean as much as I can. I'm not going to disconnect anything because there's no point. It works, but I want to sort of stop the rust getting any worse. You won't know what's hit it. Probably break now. After all these years, it'll probably go wrong. It's usually what happens when you fiddle with something that's not been fiddled with for donkey's years. The rest of the stuff I can do on the floor. All right. So what you do is undo these knobs, and it comes apart the distance you need it to fit the bike in. Give it some love with some Protect and Shine from Peter's. Quite like this. It smells like mint. It's got a minty smell to it. It's really, your sweat is very corrosive, but I must admit this hasn't, considering how much sweat it's had on it, it's not too bad. Front wheels in first, or the front. So you've got to screw these in as equal amounts, and we're in. Then you just tighten up these two. So let's give it a go. Perfect. There we go. One turbo trainer. But my goodness me, what a bit of kit that is. All those years it's done me. It's still right. I've chucked the tape on that I've got. I'm probably going to get another lot and just go over make it nice and tidy. I might get some nice new stuff just to tidy it up because it looks a bit of a state. But anyway, that's it for now. That'll do me.
The news we have this week is Manitou Suspension is back in the UK. That's it for this week. Check back next week for more news. Okay, back to the studio.
So I mentioned I am going to get Mr. Rusty going again. I've got some bits here from previous bike. Some brakes, front and rear derailleur. Should have a shifter somewhere. I think I left most of it together when I stripped. Oh, it's a dropper cable. Oh, shifter. There we go. Set. Chain. Patch up. Oh, rotor. Oh, it's more than one rotor. Where's the other one? Ah, I can see it. It's on that wheel there. Oh no, that one. It's on there. Got another pair of wheels I can use temporarily. Ooh, I've got to get some tyres down as well. Just get down here without clap falling down. That's better. So yeah, love it. This is my Henderson frame. This is an aluminium, and I painted it with rusty paint. First thing I need is a seat post. Hopefully this fits, and it does. Right, let's get some grease. Need some grease to put things together with. So I'm just going to put the forks in the. I also need some headset spacers. Right, we should have enough. We shall see in a minute. Right, I'm going to put a little bit of grease in the cup where the bearing sits. There probably is a little bit there already, but we'll put a bit more fresh. It just stops as I mentioned many times, it stops the bearing creaking. And then I can pop the forks in. So put the bearing on the fork, like so. Get your other parts of your headset. Whoops, I don't want that bit. I want the wedge. Wedge goes in. There's a bearing in the top already, it's still there from before. Then you want a little tiny washer, little shim, and then you put your top cover on, pop some spacers on, pop a stem on. I'll adjust the height after. I really just, all I want to do at the moment is just get it together. I'll pinch that up just to stop the forks falling out, just so I can get things like brakes on and handlebars in and stuff like that. Not sure what handlebars I'm going to use yet. Am I going to go with bendy bars or am I going to go with traditional? Might use traditional shock horror. Let's see. Other parts I'm going to need is bottom bracket. Not sure if I've seen a bottom bracket anywhere. Ooh, I need a bottom bracket. What have I done with that then? Right, let me investigate. Come back to you in a minute. So I found an old bottom bracket. One cup's fine, the other one is seized. Now this bike, I'm chucking this bike together. This isn't really anything that I'm planning on making too special. Obviously it's got good parts on it, but I'm not going to spend money on it. It's just today I want to get it together so that I can nip out in the woods and ride while the weather's bad, just for playing on. It's not going to do massive miles, so I'm just going to see what I can do. I've just soaked it with some oil and some fine oil. This one's fine. I've just re-greased the bearing because it's bone dry. So this bottom bracket, I hope bottom bracket's been sat in a cupboard for about 3 years. So I'm not surprised it's a bit seized. Oh, I just can't seem to get. Oh, that's it. That's lovely. That one. Smooth as smooth. So that's that one fixed. Let's see if I can get this one moving. Bingo! It's moving. Yeah, it just feels a little bit dry, so I'm going to get some grease in that, and we might be able to get that going again. Give it a good old dose of grease. I think it's just dry. There's no sign of rust. It's literally just lack of use. Just clean the cover off. That's it. Pop that on. Bingo! We have a working bottom bracket. Right, excellent. Oh, a bit of grease in the threads on the frame. Let's put a bit of grease on the threads. I'll pop the bottom bracket in. So you're seeing there's a little bit of side to side there, which you can take up with the preload washer, preload spacer here. You just tighten that up and it just takes up that bit of side to side. That's it, gone. Just a little pinch bolt, don't go mad with it, it's just to keep it tight. I've just put the forks in the frame and I've just realised I need to adjust the travel. I lowered the travel on these to 100. I'm going to up it again. So I need to take the forks back out and change the travel. So it's just the one time I do, and I should wear this more often. Keep messing up my clothes. Right, so I've done videos on this before, but I thought I'd do it again anyway. So I'm going to change the travel on a set of Mastodons. These are Generation 1. These are the Pros, Mastodon Pro, first generation. I haven't got a second generation to do. I need to do one on the second generation, but I haven't got any, I don't think. No, I haven't. But yeah, I'll get these out. There's still a lot of these around. You can tell them what it is by the knob on the top. This knob's different for Gen 1. This is a Gen 1, and then the Gen 2 is much flatter and quite sharp. I'll put a picture up. I've painted this black, as you can tell, because when I did all this rusty, but it doesn't matter. But anyway, so we'll get it apart, we'll get the legs off, and we'll go through the process. What I've got here is oil, which is 540, synthetic, must be synthetic. I've got 8mm Allen key, shock pump, syringe for putting the oil in the legs, a ground down 24mm socket. Also got a special ground down, this is 8mm, sorry, 8mm socket, and this is a split cassette removal tool. It'll all become apparent in a minute. And then I also have Molykote grease, really good stuff for lubricating things. I also have some SRAM butter. Basically, you can't make things too slippery. Glasses over there. Right, let's get going. To do is get the air out, so you take the air side off. I've done this for a while, so a good refresher. Keep everything together, don't lose anything. Shock pump, let the air out with a shock pump. Don't let it out by just putting something and sticking it into the end, because you're likely to damage the fork. It's also worth keeping a check on what air you had in the fork at the time. This has got 70 psi in it. It should do. Take that back off. And then your little narrow socket goes that side. Now everything is left-hand thread, opposite to what you think. So I need a little socket, a little wrench. So it's left-hand thread. So the way you do it up is the way you undo it. So normally that would be doing up. Today it's undoing. And you just wait until it's disengaged. There we go. And then this side, your Allen key to get the adjuster knob off, which I seem to remember is a 2mm. You can do this on the bike if you set the bike up on a stand and have it at this angle, but it's handy to have it all on a bench, or if you've got a vise like I've got, some form of holding the fork up. Well, you can put this in the work stand, to be honest. If you've got a work stand, you can put the whole fork in the work stand. I just happen to have the luxury of having it like this. Now, you're going to lose oil, so you need a drip tray. Just remembered. Where's my drip tray? Ha ha ha. What have I done with it? Now, for some reason, I have got rid of my drip tray. So what I've got is 2 pots. This isn't the ideal way. And I'm going to try and catch the oil. There's not a lot in there, I'll tell you now. Just screw that in. Bit of pressure till it pops in. That's it. Right, so now, if there is any oil in there, what I might do in this case is take those out of there and see if I can drain the oil a leg at a time, or at least in a way that I can catch it all. And just pull the legs off gently. Now what I would normally do is put those in a drip tray and let them drip. Oh, there is a bit coming out. Not a lot. Right, so I'll put those to one side, like so. I don't think these have done an awful lot since I last... Oh yeah, the seals are still... I'll show you here. See the white grease in there? That's grease from last time. So these haven't done a lot. I'm not going to bother putting any more. I might just put a tiny bit, but they haven't done a lot. These seals have never been out since I've had the bike. So hopefully now we've got a new Manitou service, Manitou distributor in the UK, we'll actually be able to get some spares, because a few people have been shouting about the fact we can't get any spares. Right, now, how to adjust the travel. So this is the volume spacer, or volume chamber, whatever you want to call it. It's got volume spacers in it. some little pucks which you need to adjust depending on the travel. So I'm just going to take this out for now. That's it. I'll tell you, one of the hardest things to do when you're doing this and you're filming is not getting your camera covered in oil. So I'm desperately trying not to get it plastered because I have to keep moving it. So, right. Next thing you need is the little split cassette tool, which you put over the leg. No, so I use an adjustable, it's just as easy. It's not very hard, it's not very tight. You just undo that. And that just releases the shaft with the spacers on, because your travel is all done by spacers on the leg. And I'll put it, there's an online chart, very, very simple, showing you how many spacers you need on the leg. So this is your travel adjust. The amount of spacers on here adjusts the travel on your foot. So I'm just going to consult the chart now. I think you remove them to up the travel, if I remember rightly. And I want to set this, I'm going to go a bit mad and set it on 140 mil. For a bit of, I'm going to put it in fun setting. Right, bear with me a sec. As I say, this is currently set on 100 mil, so I've got 3 of the little pucks on here, for want of a better word. So I'm going to pop those off, because all I need is 1 for 140 mil. So each of these is 10 mil. That doesn't make sense actually, does it? Let me just check that. Sorry, I had it set on 120, which is 3 spacers. So each one of these is 10 millimeters of travel. So I'm going to take 2 spacers off, so 20 mil of travel off, so it goes from 120 to 140. So that means I've now got 1 spacer above, if you can imagine, this is the top of the air shaft. This is your air where it sticks out of the fork at the bottom. So this is the top part in the fork, if you know what I mean, and this is the threaded part. So above it you've got this little long spacer, and then you've got a puck which you can adjust up and down, and then you just got a little rebound buffer there. So that's it. So adjusted it. Don't lose the pucks you've taken off, because obviously if you're going to adjust your travel back down again, you'll need them. And what I tend to do is just put a little bit of lube. I don't think I'm really going to need an awful lot, because this fork hasn't not far off recently been done. So I'm just going to put a little bit around the rubber seal, and then you pop that back in. Bearing in mind you've still got your preload out. Don't put that back in yet. And then you just get your split cassette tool again and do it back up. It's really simple to do. There's nothing else to do with the travel adjustment except the preload volume spacers, I should say, is what I've got to adjust. Just tighten that back up. So the volume spacers I've adjusted to maximum. So this is the plunger which goes into the air chamber. So the more spacers you put the top side of that, the smaller the chamber. So the more volume spacers you've put in. So I've got the maximum now. You can adjust these. It's quite easy. This is just a socket to pop this out. This is what you need the 24 mil ground down socket is to take this out, and it's quite simple to do. So you can fine adjust that, but that's what I've done for now. So we pop that back in now. Yeah, leaving that out actually helps you get the air shaft back in. Just put a little bit of grease on there. Having said I'm not going to do it, I might as well. Makes the fork really, really supple. Great stuff this. And gently put these on. Now you don't want to put them fully on, because you've got to put your oil back in. And get your syringe, and you want 15 cc's or 150 ml of fork oil. Push the legs down, just so you can see the knob pop out. And what you want to do is just catch your air shaft. If I can find my air shaft socket. There it is. Change the. So now it's as if you're going to undo it. So what you want to do is just gently turn it while you put some pressure on it, and it should catch. Yeah, it's caught. That's it. That's it. Don't go ramming it in because you'll push the leg down too far. Right, that's tight. You don't go to mad tightening it up, just nip it up. And then the other side, same principle. Just try and catch that shaft. Now what you might have to do here is put your pump on, because you need to compress the fork a bit to get that to catch. And it won't compress. There we go. You have to let a bit of air out. Let's just see if we can get that to catch. Just nip that up again. Give everything a bit of a wipe. And I put my adjuster back in. It's your rebound adjuster. I will show you how to do a complete strip of this fork soon. Right now you need to put the air back in, and the thing you need to do is to extend the forks fully. I normally have these on 130 because you can do them in 10mm increments, but I thought we'll go in the fun zone and we'll have 140 also. And then when you take the fork, take the air pump off, pull the fork fully extended whilst you take it off. So all you need to do now is put your air cap back on and we're done. And then take the forks out of the clamp and just cycle them a few times to make sure everything's fine. Bit more slurping. Oh, lovely. I might actually need a bit of travel out of those, we'll see. But anyway, that's that for now. I'm going to have a bit of a tidy up before I put the forks back in the frame. Right, so next part of this project, handlebars. You want something with a bit of rise. I use a lot of gusset stuff. I know obviously our shop sells it, but I have tried other stuff and I keep coming back. There's a one stem which I use a lot, which is this. It's a gusset staff stem. It's very cheap. It's nothing fancy, but it just does the job. It's about £49 I think they are now. They were 39, I think they're 49. Come in all the lengths, everything you can think of, right down to really stubby. And they're just really good. I use them all the time. Right, so next day now, I couldn't quite finish this bike yesterday because I had to get some bits for it, but I've just popped down and got a cable for the dropper. So what I was going to do, I was just going to quickly go through, how do you know how long your dropper cable, outer cable, should be? Because you don't know. You might end up with a massive loop at the front. So the easiest way to do it is to turn your bars right round as far as they'll go. You'd have the cable connected, and it's just basically, you have it as tight as you can get it, but it needs to appear at the top of the seat post. Because what you need to be able to do is disconnect the post, should you need to, without taking the lever off. As long as you can turn the bars right round, feed the cable up as you pull the dropper out, and then you'll be able to disconnect it on the top. But obviously, and then when you push the dropper in, that cable will push in and you'll be able to feed it back round, and then the bars will go around to normal. I'll just put it in the lever first. Now this lever is, there's quite a few good levers around now. Obviously I use a Hope one a lot of the time, but this is a Crank Brothers one. I love this. It's got a little ball joint system. This is one of the first ones, one of the early ones. I just love it because you've got so much adjustment. You can have it exactly where you want it, and it's simple. And the cable connection is really simple as well. So I'll take it off and show you. So the cable goes through here and straight through, out the back of the lever, and there's a little grub screw here that pinches onto it. It's the simplest of dropper levers to connect. Push it in there. It goes right the way through and out the back of the lever. And the other thing you need to do on the other end is make sure you've got enough cable sticking up. So you don't want to have it flush like that. You want about about that much, if you can see that. If you just put the end of the gear cable in the slot like that. I haven't had one break yet. And just pop it in. And like I say, then you just feed the cable in. You feed it in like that. Dropper goes down. It just so happens. So what do we have here? So we've got a Smokestone Raven148. So it's a boost version of my fat bike. And this is being built for a very special trip where and it's this young man's bike. So what are you looking to do? This is Dave.
Alright, I'm going to go ride the GDMBR.
Oh right, just a little ride then.
Just a little ride. Something I wanted to do for 12 years, never thought I could do it. And then just got to the point where it's just like, you'll never know unless you do it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
And wanted a 29 frame, and liked the frame, and wanted to do justice to the frame and build up a proper bike that I think is proper bike.
So it's got everything you could want. It's a bit of a bike for forever, I guess.
Yeah, this is.
So you've got dynamo on the front, four components, mechanical brakes, obviously much more reliable. Belt drive, Gates drive, for roll-off hub in the back.
Yeah.
Lovely. So get some miles in on that then.
Yeah.
So when are you hoping to go?
July, August.
Okay.
Being the prime window.
Yeah.
Work has allowed me to have 2 weeks sabbatical, and I've chucked all the rest of my holidays into one. So I've got 2 months to do it in. Like 70, 80, maybe more a day.
Perfect.
A few more things to go on. Got a ride far that's going on there with armrests.
Yeah.
And this is all going to be taped up.
But have you been out on it yet? Ridden it yet?
Yeah, a couple of times.
Right.
Yeah, rides like a dream.
So it's just really a bit of a shakedown, and
yeah,
for you and the bike.
Yeah, and then it's time to get training.
Good. Good luck with it all.
I'm going to do it. I know I'm going to do it. It's getting there.
Good stuff. Right. Cheers, Dave. Thanks for showing us that.
That's all right. Thank you very much.
So I'm gradually getting this together. Just had a friend of mine pop in who bought a bike off me. You'll see in the clip probably just before this. And Dave, great to see him. As he said in the video, he's off to do the GDMBR across America. Wow, something I'd love to do. I don't think I ever will, but it's nice to think that perhaps you could have a go at it at some point. And I just had to nip out and get another gear cable, so bit of a break in proceedings. So let's get this put in. I was planning on going on the turbo trainer this afternoon. I might have time. It's either that or I go out on this bike tomorrow, which sounds a little bit more appealing actually, but we'll see. Right then, so tyres, wheels. I'm going to put these DT BR 710s on. These are my sort of go-to hubs when you want to just, or go-to wheels, just for everyday fat biking. The best value, not crazy heavy. And I'm going to run 45 North Van Helgers. Something you can't get anymore, I don't believe. And it's a Huck Norris tyre insert. See that inside there? It's a foam insert to go inside the tyre, so you can run this. It's a shame you can't get them because it's really, really good, because you can run your tyre nice and soft for doing crazy stuff and not ding the rim. So tyres are on. Took a while. Bit of a fight because I couldn't find a tube. You needed a tube for the one wheel. The other one, this one's got an insert in, and it went on really easily because the insert keeps the tyre out. But this one was a real so-and-so, so finally got it on. Just going to have to be some fine adjustment on the rotor, I imagine. on the brake. So we're going to have to shorten this chain a bit. I think that'll do for today. I'm going to go and have a cuppa. Right, catch you in a bit. So here we are. Today is Wednesday. The video is getting too long. Hello. The plan was to do, always every week, is to do a video no longer than an hour. Otherwise it gets a bit tedious. And I never plan my videos. Hang on, come in here a minute. I never plan my videos. So it's a case of come out here, see what I'm going to do, go for a ride, do this, do that. But this week I decided, obviously as you've seen in the videos so far, I've serviced this or cleaned it up. And I also rebuilt this. And that's a stunner, isn't it? Look at it. Love it. Set at 140mm travel. It just really looks sorted. I'm also a bit late coming out because I go out for a walk in the morning with the dog and then have my lunch about 11:30, have a bit of a kip, half hour or something. And usually I'll stick YouTube on and I'll just watch a bit of that and I'll just nod off for 20 minutes or so. Today I put YouTube on and I've been following, or I discovered someone called Jacob Collier. Some of you may have heard of him. I've never heard of him. And he's a musician on another planet. Incredible. And anyway, I clicked on this this video of a concert in Seattle. And I've just been sat there, watched the whole thing. And it's just mind-boggling. I put a link on Facebook because this week I've been talking. I think I did mention him earlier in the week, if anyone had heard of him. And I also put on this morning, just slightly off that, I put this morning how I don't want to watch the news anymore. It's so depressing and just so, yeah, depressing to see and hear what people are spreading and thinking about other people. Anyway, I'm not going to get political on this channel. I've made a point of not doing that. So anyway, so I was quite pleased to watch this video, and it's so uplifting. It's just amazing. So I've put a link to it. I wrote a comment this morning about not watching the news anymore, and in the comments, someone said, "Oh, I don't watch the news." Anyway, under it, I put the link to the concert. So if you're interested, watch it. It's nuts. Watching audience's response to something, really, I find that very emotional. It really gets to me, and I think I've gone through a box of tissues watching that. You'll see what I mean. If you don't want to watch it all, you'll see in the bottom, you'll see Bridge Over Troubled Waters. Watch that. That's all I'm going to say. Right, back to the bike. Back to the video. So as I was saying, this video is going to be an hour long. It's gone over an hour, so I'm not sure what else I'm going to put in it. I'm going to finish this bike, and I'm going to try. I'll probably have to edit some bits out of the video to keep it within an hour. The other stuff I'd planned to do this week, I obviously won't be able to do. So appreciate it's a bit short. There's no ride in this one. I was going to do a bit of turbo, but that's not exactly thrilling, is it? So if I film anything else, I'll probably take it over to next week. Okay, that's it for now. Right, I'm going to get these bits on this bike, and I shall come back to you when it's done. Finishing touches. There we go. I'm going to put a little pack somewhere, maybe behind the seat or somewhere, just to carry my tools, because I don't carry a backpack. But yeah, I'm going to change these as well. I'm going to get some different coloured zip ties just to finish it off. And it'll probably stay like this now. I don't see any reason to take it apart, to be honest. He says. I wonder how long that'll last. Right, enough of that.